Good morning everyone, Joy of Quilting here again. This morning we're going to put sashing onto our blocks. Firstly you need to cut out your sashing strips. This is a 2.5 inch strip cut across the width of the fabric. If you need help cutting out, refer to the video I've made on cutting out. So we've got our 2.5 inch strips. Here's my block. I'm going to lay the block down, lay the strip on top, make sure it's along the edge, and then I pin vertically to stop everything shifting. Okay, so 1, 2, just check, put one on the other end. Okay, and now I'm going to stitch 1/4 inch from there to there. Then we trim off the excess fabric, as we've done many times before. If you've been following my videos, put your ruler down, solid line across the top so you know it's straight, and cut, and cut, and then we're going to press it. So I always press the stitches to press them into the seams, and then you just flip it over and press. Next we're going to add the next block. Here's my next block. So you put your next block face down on the other side of your sashing, line it up, and again pin, okay, and then stitch 1/4 inch seam across that. Okay, that's all stitched. Press the seam in, okay, and then you're going to open that up, and we're going to press these seams in towards the middle of the sashing strip, and you've got your first two joined together. I then put another piece of sashing on the next edge and another block, and so on until you've made your row up. There's when I've finished. But you don't put sashing on the very end pieces. That will be done later. Okay, once you've got your row of blocks with sashing sewn together, you need to join the rows together. So we're going to join it with the same sashing. And what I do now is I measure down the middle of the row, okay, and whatever that measures, that's the size strip you need. This measures 43, and what I do then is I put a pin either end of my strip, okay, and in between those pins it's 43 inches. So I start then pinning. So laying it down facing, right side's facing, okay, get your pin on the edge, pin that there, then I go to the other edge, okay, find my pin and pin that there. Then I usually open it out, okay, and lay it down and go to the middle. There you go. Right, you can, there I can see where the middle is because there's a fold there, luckily. Pin there, and then I concentrate on this area, pin somewhere in the middle, keeping it flat, and then go between two pins and pin again until I've got it pinned about every 2 or 3 inches. Pins going this way to stop it moving. The reason I measure down the middle is to stop any waviness in your quilt. If you've ever seen people who've got quilts with wavy edges, it's because they've put strips down without measuring them, and the edge of your quilts can often be cut across the bias or quite stretchy, and if you don't measure you can end up getting too much length of the strip going down. So if you measure the middle, you know the exact length you need to cut your strips, and you try and make them fit. You can get away with about 1/4 of an inch, but anything much more than that and you're going to start having waves. So you need to stitch this now, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, after stitching it, then you'd press it open, and then you'd lay down your next row of blocks. Now this is where you want a little bit of matching, because you want your sashing to match up from the last piece. So turn it over, make sure those two pieces match up, then lay that down, crawl it up to there, and put a pin either side to hold that in place. And I would do that along the length, okay, at every point where there's sashing. I'd pin those and then pin in between, stitch that, open it up, and you're starting to get your blocks together, your rows together. Next time I'll show you how to put the border sashing on.